Welcome back to a Bears game day. Oh, it's been too long. Long bye week. What a crew we have for you today. We are sponsored by DraftKings. Use that code CHGO when you sign up. You get up to $150 in free bets. It is Bears, Eagles, Adam Hoge, Mark Carman, Corey Wootton, Greg Braggs Jr. What's up?
What's going on? Happy Sunday. Love this Sunday crew. Love Wootton Studio.
We need a picture-in-picture for the World Cup on this screen.
No,
we're talking about a different football right now.
Different football.
You know what? Let's be honest, right? It's Sunday. It's American football day. All right. However,
I'm the meatball here. Come on.
no, we've been watching, and congrats to France for
The comeback. That
for the
was cool.
second greatest comeback of the weekend. Number one is obviously what the Vikings did yesterday.
Oh, my God.
Jeff Saturday, right? Just run the football in the second half, really.
Matt Ryan has been a part of some of the most epic collapses in NFL history.
It's crazy. You know what, though? If you're going to come all the way back from 33-0, can you at least cover the -4? I mean, what the hell, Vikings?
did you play it?
Actually, here's a great thing you can do on DraftKings. You can tease it, and I teased it down to Vikings +2.5. So they actually technically did cover for me. But still, it's out of principle. Come on, Vikings.
But how does that happen? You're up 33 points. Like, if you just run the football the second half.
Yeah.
If you just run the football, run the clock out. Same thing that happened with Kyle Shanahan when he was with the Falcons and Brady. Just run the football.
Yep.
You got the win. You got the game on lock if you just run the football.
Are you yelling at Jeff Saturday? Is that what's going on?
I am. I'm yelling at him.
You would be joining
Right?
a large chorus.
He's this great coach and interim and all this
Matt
stuff.
Ryan
Man,
was
run
a
the
part
football.
of that game, the Super Bowl collapse against the Patriots, and even the Bears when the Bears were down 26-10 in the fourth quarter. And Nick Foles, right? Isn't that when Nick Foles came in and took down Matt Ryan? They're up 26-10 with like 8 minutes to go and lost 6 minutes. Yeah, even worse. So Matt Ryan, he's bad luck.
Well,
Yeah.
Fortunately, Matt Ryan won't be playing in this game today.
Yeah.
And Kirk Cousins, for that matter. It does not bode well probably for the Bears today, just based on the matchups. We'll get into predictions a little bit later on.
You don't think the Bears are winning today? Are you ruining your prediction mode?
No, I didn't pick the Bears to win.
I understand. I thought you just I thought
No,
there was
what
some
I
I thought there was some intrigue to
No, what I was getting at is the quarterback matchup is intriguing.
Oh, it is? A little bit.
More than a little bit. I think this is actually, for a game that should be one-sided, I think this is an incredibly interesting football game still.
It is. And the Bears have the better quarterback.
You're in a more optimistic state than I am right now. The only thing I care about today, as far as any quarterback matchup or any matchup, whatever, outside of this being the Jack Sanborn game, because I'm wearing Sanborn, and I was driving over this morning, and Tom Thayer, I'm listening to him calling it the Sanborn game. I mean, this is officially the Sanborn game. But just get out of the. But as far as Fields is concerned, please don't get hurt today.
Can we stop with that?
We cannot.
No, this is so exhausting and annoying. The guy, it's football. He can get hurt in any freaking game.
They're going up against the defense that has the most sacks in the NFL.
Good. It's a good opportunity for him to develop against a good defense.
I agree, right? It's a good test
yes.
for how he can do things. And I know he's still got that shoulder that's banged up. So I said this is a good test for him to learn how to play in general, right? Because he's always going to be a mobile quarterback, right? And learning when to throw the ball away, when to slide, when to get down. But I think the Bears should look at what the Eagles are, and this is who the Bears should want to become, right? You look at pretty similar quarterbacks. Justin Fields can obviously run a little bit better. I think Justin Fields, when it's all said and done, can be a better passer than Jalen Hurts. But look what they've done in the offseason, surround them with talent. They have a great offensive line, great defensive line. So the Bears should want to become what the Eagles are right now.
Well, I just think the key is, because I'm with Carmen, my concerns here over these next 2 weeks, and I just think the key is if they go down big, which they potentially could, they need to just not worry about the win if they go down big and just run what you would normally run in a close game. Because if you start dropping back 45 times, I'm going to get pissed off. Because, especially like Mark said, they get after the quarterback. The last game, no sacks for our offensive line giving up. That's great. That's what they need to keep doing. But I have a hard time believing they're going to be able to do that today. And if it starts getting out of hand, that's when I am going to get worried, especially if the game is out of hand. because there's a risk-reward balance. Yeah, you want to develop them. Yeah, you want to keep working them in the pocket. He has no one to throw to. I mean, how many drops are there going to be today with these guys? So that's my concern. I want to develop them, but they do need to, look at the bigger picture. And if there's a moment where you feel like, hey, we're putting him at risk for a game that's already decided, I'm going to have no problem if they say, let's play it out. Let's live to play for next week. But let's see how the game plays out.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. If it does get away, would you pull him?
I absolutely would.
Yeah.
And that's why I asked you about the Derrick Rose thing. Nobody in this city was blaming Tibbs when Derrick Rose got hurt in the playoffs. And that was the playoffs.
Some people
And then he got hurt, and everybody was like, why was he out there? And I just don't want that moment. I'm not trying to speak it into existence, but it is something that's on the tip of my mind. When Chase Claypool got hurt last week, or a couple weeks ago, I was really upset. This is somebody we need for next year. And at the time, it looked like it was a ACL or something. Yeah. I don't want any. We've already had Eddie Jackson, Darnell Mooney. You saw what happened to Kyler Murray on the primetime stage the other day.
That was a fluke, though.
So I understand it's a fluke, and I understand he's got to play, and I understand injuries happen no matter what. He could get hit by a bus tomorrow. I understand all the old adages, but at the same time, it's incumbent on this franchise to be careful and be cognizant of the risk-reward balance and make the proper decisions. That's their job.
Yeah, well, and I think there's evidence that they've done that. I mean, when the Cowboys game was out of hand, they put Trevor Siemian in. I don't think there's any doubt. If they're down 30, I don't think there's any doubt that they will do that.
Okay.
What I want to ask you guys is what's your perfect scenario for today's game? Like, how do you want this thing to play out?
I just wanted to be similar to how that Cowboys game was offensively for the Bears, right? They were going against a talented pass rush, and Luke Getsy had a great game plan for that, right? Getting the ball out quick, getting Justin Fields on the move, some screens, some draws. When you're playing against a dominant defensive line, you want to get them off balance. So I think that's not only good for right now, but the future of Luke Getsy and Justin Fields. So I want to see how he's going to game plan against this talented defense.
To me, what's most interesting today is the Eagles run the RPO. It is an enormous challenge for Jack Urlacher to
Sandlacker.
Yeah, Sandlacker?
Sandlacker. That's my favorite of all the nicknames.
I think that's my least favorite.
Well,
yeah,
you're wrong.
I'm not into it either.
You're wrong too, Lawrence.
I'm not into it either, Lawrence / Hoge. But like literally, somebody went up to in the locker room and called him that this week. So that's why I'm just dropping.
And it was you.
It was not me. I promise. I promise.
But there's no comparison.
While he was hugging his leg.
6'4", 245. Like
I don't. It's sad for me right now. I don't have the bond with Sanborn that I have with a couple of the other guys. Like
Justin Jones and Carmen this.
Yeah. Justin and we're good, but he kind of like also looks to me like you again. But like I can like there's that. But like Komet, like I think wants to talk to me. I think he enjoys my presence. But yet, regardless, I don't have anything with Sanborn.
I hate to break it to you, but Komet makes everyone feel that.
I know.
He's a nice guy.
But I think it's legitimate. I think he actually enjoys like that dude is going to be in the media when it's all over.
Yes.
Like that's where he's headed. But regardless, I was not the guy that went up and said Sandlacker to him. But my point is that it is a huge challenge for him and the rest of this defense today, but like he's like the lone dude that I have confidence in the front seven that might actually have a huge day. This is
at least on the back end, the secondary played really well against Green Bay, and now you get Jaquan Brisker back, Kyler Gordon back. So I'm excited to see how they can compete with these, because Jalen Hurts just throws it up to these dudes. And he's got all these weapons at his disposal: Devontae Smith and AJ Brown, guys
Goddard.
Goddard. Guys I would love to have on the Bears, or types of players I would love to have on the Bears. So it'll be an interesting challenge for this secondary to see how they can hang with these guys and the go up and get it balls. But yeah, the front seven is the concern.
You talked about the secondary, and this game really worries me as far as our front seven and ability to generate pressure. So we've had 8.5 sacks by the defensive line all year, right? Brandon Graham for the Eagles has 8.5 sacks, right? The other linebacker, Reddick,
90
has
years
10
old
sacks. the Hargrave has 8 sacks.
Yeah.
Literally, we have not been able to generate pressure. They have 49 sacks to our 16. Our leading sacker is Jaquan Brisker.
With 3.
Honestly, like, this offseason, defensive line, and some more defensive linemen.
Yeah.
Like it has been awful, and the secondary has played pretty well with all things considered, especially in that Green Bay game. Aaron Rodgers had 20 seconds one time. He's back there making a sandwich, making his coffee, putting a little milk and sugar in there. Like, it's hard. Like, I feel bad. It's all Russian cover in this Tampa, too, and the secondary has been left out to dry time
what
after time
kind of
again.
Sandwich?
Probably one of those, Green Bay ones, with the smoked Gouda or something like that.
Grilled cheese, just straight up grilled cheese. Look, I think my perfect scenario for today is, first and foremost, Justin Fields continues his development, specifically in the passing game. That we can, the Packer game was probably his best game, just from a pure passing standpoint. I don't know if it's his best game overall, but keep that momentum going against a good team, I think would say a lot.
And that would, right? If he got 250 yards without Chase Claypool or Darnell Mooney, that would speak volumes to his development.
Which we're going to get in the wide receivers here in a second, who's actually available, because it's not pretty. So things are going against Justin Fields as much as they have all season in this game. Second, though, would be, on the offensive line, Tevin Jenkins bouncing back. I don't think the Packer game was his best game. Braxton Jones playing well. This is a big test, and Jones has struggled sometimes this season when facing, flat out speed. These top tier rushers. I don't know if the Eagles' strength on that D line is their depth, and Tevin Jenkins. I was listening to BBM's pregame show driving in, and he was telling Joniak that he had to watch like double the amount of tape this week because the backups are as good as the starters. Like, you have to study the backups like you would a starter that you're going to go up against the whole game, all their different moves and everything like that. So they had to put a lot of work in. And then Alex Leatherwood, if he gets more reps this week, can he take advantage? So that's the other thing on the offensive line for me that I think
I would love to
see
today. Leatherwood take another step, because I like the idea of Leatherwood and Tevin Jenkins on that right side, two guys that have been maligned, and now they're coming out with an attitude of prove it mentality and some nastiness on that side of the line. So I'm excited to see what he can do as well.
I want to see what he can do. Former first-round pick.
Everybody calls him a bust.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like it's too early to see yet. So I want to see what he can do. And this will be a good test for the offensive line. And Hoge, you talked about it. They have waves of defensive line. And that's why I think they'll make a run for the Super Bowl, because of that defensive line. You look at, the Giants in 07-11, the Brady Killers, what they were able to do with that front four. You look at Von Miller and company when they played Carolina, and then the Seahawks when they played Peyton Manning and them. Like, the defensive line is so critical, and that's what I'm hoping the Bears can eventually be in the future, like aspire to be like the Eagles, because they are dominant, and they have waves. You got Linval Joseph, they got Ndamukong Suh as well. They can press you with the front four. They can bring different looks. I mean, it's a thing of beauty to watch them.
Robert Quinn.
There's not, the Robert Quinn part. Congrats to Ryan Poles. You got that one right, my friend. You got a 4th-round draft pick for a dude who, and I love Robert, and he was hurt, and now he's getting his knee scoped, and he's on injured reserve, and I hope he's able to come back for the playoffs. Not that the Eagles really need him, but as bad as the Claypool trade potentially looks, hopefully that'll switch. But at least they were able to steal a 4th-round pick for Robert when really it could have gone another way where they ended up getting nothing. That was a good job. He went there, didn't touch the quarterback. I mean, he had 2 hits, but he didn't get a sack. He was terrible. If you look at the stats, the way he was graded out, his run game was horrible, and then he's hurt. So, I mean, that's a win right there. But to answer your question, sorry, long-winded here, all of what you're saying is great. Like, I want to see Alex Leatherwood have a good game. I'd love to see Fields, be big. But this whole, this is a measuring stick game. We don't need to get out a measuring stick. We know exactly where the Bears are and exactly where the Eagles are. Like, there's no, they're this far away. This is not there's not going to be some big epiphany after that. Oh, okay, they're this close. Or that. No. The Eagles are averaging an NFL best 29.7 points per game, and they are number 1 in the NFL at getting to the quarterback. The Bears are nowhere close to this team right now. We don't need to see it on the field to figure it out.
Well, hold on. I mean, when the Bears played the Dolphins on the lakefront a month ago,
yeah,
the Dolphins had a great game against the Bills yesterday. I would have never thought that would have been a good game for the Bears. Matchup-wise. You got Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. Who's going to stop them? And then all of a sudden, by the end of that game, we're all freaking out over there watching it because we thought the Bears could have won that game, and we put up 30 points. So that is the best-case scenario. If the Bears can find their way into a game with this team, as Bears fans, the fanatics and the meatballs, we're all going to be like, we're not that far away.
So
that's one game.
And forget how far you are away or measuring stick. That's the next question I want to ask you guys. The Bears have done a pretty decent job staying in games.
With
okay,
Justin
now
Fields.
I would not surprise me if this one gets away in the way that the Cowboys game did. But if they are in a scenario, once again, fourth quarter, Fields has the ball, chance to drive down and win the game, what do you want to see happen?
Do not want to see a design outside zone run. I'll tell you that. If it does, I'm throwing something at the screen. Honestly, no. I want to see him continue with the passing, right? If Justin Fields is comfortable in certain situations, passing the ball down the field, I want to see that in a 2-minute situation, right? Because that's what every team is going to do out there, mix and match with some things. But I do not want to see a designed quarterback run in a 2-minute situation when the game's on the line.
Well, I'm going to say something that Danny Parkins isn't going to like. If they're in that situation, I want him to go down and win the game. And not only is that what I want to see in the moment, I think that's actually the better thing for the future too. Because against this team, against the Eagles, if you're really in that situation where as Justin Fields, the franchise quarterback, you can go down and get like a statement win with Dante Pettis and Simba Webster out there
one of the
running
most
around,
shocking wins of the
routes
year
for you. Like
for any team.
To me, look, if you look at it right now, I don't have it right in front of me, but even if they win one more game, I think they're still guaranteed like a top 5 pick, and other teams are still going to win a couple more games.
If New Orleans beats the Falcons, the worst they can pick is 4.
Okay, so if we're talking between the difference between 3 and 4 in the draft order. Yeah. Versus Justin Fields having the chance to go down and make a statement win against the best team in the NFL right now with no help around him. I'm sorry, but I'm taking that. I'm taking that scenario for Fields, especially because we've seen how many other times, and I don't want to say him failing to do it because he hasn't gotten the help he's needed in those moments, but they haven't done that yet. He needs that statement drive. And I'm not saying that it's the difference between his career working out or not working out. If he throws a pick,
right,
it's still going to be okay in the future, but I still think the victory, and Woot, maybe as a former player, you can speak to this, like what that might mean for him, for the locker room, for the players who still be here next year, even though there's not many of them, what that type of moment could mean.
It would just mean confidence for him because he's had a bunch of drives where we potentially could have drove down, didn't work out, right? This would be a great experience for him to say that he can do it. Sometimes it's like getting over that hump, right? Because he looks good up to a certain point, and then combined with the play calling and just not getting it done. So if he had a chance to go down there and drive to win or tie the game up, it would just be a huge boost of confidence for him.
No question.
The front office, the players, everything. And we need situations like that because if he can have that experience going down there, shocking the world, like you said, with the weapons that we have out there, which you can make an argument we have some of the worst weapons. 100%. And then no disrespect to them at all, the guys that are on the field. But I think it would just be great for Justin Fields and his confidence as a whole in that situation because in the future we're going to expect that of him, right? Yep. To go down, drive down the field and give us a game-tying, game-winning drive. So it would be great to do it against the Eagles.
But you don't think that he lacks confidence, do you?
No. I don't think it. But sometimes it's like you need to do something to get that extra level of confidence. You know what I'm saying? Like I think he's a confident person. Yeah. But sometimes like if you're maybe struggling in one particular area and then all of a sudden you do it, then all of a sudden you're like, oh, I can do this no problem.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I guess, this is a nitpick completely, but I don't think it's necessarily a confidence thing. I think I want to see him in the moment when he has to complete passes. Read defense, make the big throw in the biggest moment. That's what I want to see him do it. Because you listen to him talk this week, he ain't lacking anything as far as like belief in himself. But I also think like the next step for him is all right. I'm gonna step back into this pocket and I'm gonna shred you, and we're gonna win the game.
It's a different level of pressure when the game's on the line,
right?
Your last drive,
and he has done it. I mean, Darnell Mooney dropped the game-winning touchdown against the Washington Commanders. You know, Dante Pettis and St. Brown have dropped passes that Justin Fields put on a dime.
Miami, the Claypool should have been pass
He has done it, and because those plays didn't work to his favor because of the other variables outside of Justin, we didn't get to see the completion of the drive to see if he could have got the touchdown. But he has proven he can make those throws. It's the weapons around him that haven't. It's two ends of the barrel. You got both connections. Got to do it for Justin Fields to get the credit. And so, like, to your point, I've been on the Danny Parkins side of things. We know this. We've talked about the tank, talked about how I prefer the second pick in the draft, and that is what I prefer, but that does not mean I'm rooting against Justin Fields or the Bears. I would love that would be great. Like, does he need it to beat the Eagles today for his confidence? No, but would it be great for him and the Bears and Matt Eberflus? Of course. There's no denying that. So, especially with them being the best team in football, you know. So, that would be great. Now, with the weapons around him, if he makes the throw and they drop it, I'm not going to blame him, and I'm not going to bat an eye when the game's over. You know, this season has always been a win-win. It's a rebuild season, so every game they win, great. Every game they lose, fine. I'm not going to say great for every time they lose, but every time they lose, it's not a big deal for the bigger picture of things. So it's a win-win. If they win, it absolutely is a great thing.
So you're just saying if they win, it's not a win in the scheme of things?
No. I mean, again, this is in a weird parsing. I would, in this scenario that you just laid out, I think it'd be absolutely fantastic for the Bears and for him, these particular Bears, for him to go down and win the game. And whatever, Cole Kmet catches a touchdown pass, Bears go nuts in the end zone. Phenomenal moment for the football team. However, when you really add up everything that needs to happen for this team to get to the Super Bowl level with the amount of needs that they have, it is a huge deal that they get the number 2 overall pick. They're going to need that pick to turn it into a bunch of other picks.
Right.
And then they need to get hot on those, on who they're acquiring. They're not going to nail every single one. Look at the Eagles. They've had Jalen Reagor and missed on Justin Jefferson, the 4th greatest wide receiver in the history of the NFL, the way that dude's trending. But they missed on Robert Quinn. Doesn't really matter that much, but they've hit him on a million times. You need shots at it. And like these 4 games, winning one, if you get knocked from 2 to 7, that sucks.
It can't happen.
You really don't want that.
But it won't happen anymore. And that's Adam's point about the furthest they can fall now.
Well,
it's 5 right now, but there's scenarios
that's if they win one. I'm not
today that can make it to 4. And there's also scenarios still in play where the Bears can win a game and still have the number 2 pick.
Of course.
So, it's not as drastic as when if they win, they fall to 16 or 13. We're not at that point anymore.
I'm just saying that what happens with this pick is going to have a huge definition in how successful Ryan Poles is in his role.
Yeah.
Absolutely. No, but that's the same if it's number 2 or number 5. Like,
number 2, you have a better chance to trade out. Now, number 5.
Maybe.
Well, it's not maybe. To me, it's a guarantee because
I don't think it's a guarantee because you don't know how these other teams value these quarterbacks right now.
I agree.
Last year, nobody wanted to trade up for those quarterbacks. This year, it's a little iffy. You might actually have a better chance to trade back at 5, depending on how it all falls out. Part of my point with this is way too early to know these things. And so what we know today is today's game. And if he's in that situation, I think the win for today is to take advantage of that. And again, a couple weeks ago we were talking about this, and if they had won the game, they would have fallen to like 16th in the draft order. That's no longer the case.
Right.
You know, I think you got to take it day by day, today's opportunity, and
this gets in the chat or in the conversation anywhere. Like, the Bears are trying to win. The coaches are trying to win. The players are trying to win. Like, none of this right here or anywhere else, the whole draft, it doesn't matter. Those dudes are coming to play. Period. End of story. They want to win the football game.
Yeah, that's the tough part about it because there's still games to be played. And literally any given Sunday, a team can beat somebody, no matter how bad they've been or whatnot. So it's like a tough balance. Like, I understand that we realistically want to lose, but we want the team to do well. But sometimes it goes against the grain and we get a win when maybe we shouldn't have gotten this situation. But that's the NFL. It's just so tough to like truly tank, like unless you're just pulling everybody. You say Justin Fields, sit down for the rest of the year.
Right.
We're not worried about anything else.
I mean, is Ryan Poles sitting in his office today, like dying for a win? I highly doubt it. I think
he's in his office like, I need. No.
And let me
he's
clarify.
dying for that situation that I just painted with
You
this
think so?
quarterback. Absolutely.
And let me clarify, too,
won.
because
I
people
did.
are asking in the chat, how far can they fall? I'm saying in the scenario, if they get one more win, the furthest they can fall to 5. If they win their last 4 games, then they're picking in the teens. That's not happening. But to clarify on what I'm saying, if they win one more game, the furthest they can fall
win today,
is 5.
Buffalo comes in, they don't want to be here, and then now the Lions. I mean, they're hot, but that's good.
Why doesn't Buffalo want to be here?
I don't know. I'm looking for maybe okay. It's
I love the post-game show last night. They asked Josh Allen how important the number 1 seed was to him. He's like, I don't know. We play the Bears next week.
Yeah.
Like he's focused on the Bears.
Okay, let me rephrase
I
it.
thought he was being
Buff-
facetious about not worrying about the Bears.
Buffalo comes in here. It's Christmas Eve. They're thinking about their family. They're not focused. You beat the Bills. Next thing you know, the Lions are here. Rock them. The Vikings don't need the game. Bears went out. Complete nightmare.
We just don't have enough talent on the defensive
You're
line
right.
to win games. I think that's why we're close every time, and then we're not able to get it done.
Oh my Lord! Wow, that was
It was almost a goal on the.
It was a goal.
They knocked
Argentina
the
scored.
goalie down.
Did he score?
That's a goal.
Yeah,
That's
it
it.
was in
That's
there.
it. That's it.
Past the line.
It's over.
So
It's
Argentina,
not over.
So they
Well,
have
it's
to
not over.
finish
Argentina
overtime?
scored.
They don't end right when the goal is scored?
They'll end
What kind of
immediately in
sport is this?
It's the beautiful game, they say. I don't know. I thought the Vikings comeback yesterday was pretty
You
beautiful.
don't think
Oh.
you wouldn't call the Bears-Jets game earlier this year the beautiful game? Okay.
Yeah, I'm just saying, realistically, I
Thanks,
think we'll
Lawrence.
lose all these games. And I think if it comes down to the last game, Justin Fields is healthy and everything, you sit him. Last game of the season.
Ooh, that's
doesn't
interesting.
Matter. Doesn't matter.
Well, and I think here's a perfect way to close this conversation maybe. Last year, Week 18, Minnesota, Fields was supposed to come back from his injury and play that game, and this was the same conversation we were having, like, how much is he going to get out of it? Like, is it worth it? Should he play? Can he develop? And then he got COVID, and then he didn't play. And I remember being like, oh, what a missed opportunity. He's not going to get these reps. Yeah. And then, like, I don't know, you look back on it a year later, it's like, did it really matter if he played in that game or not?
Especially the last game of the season.
Yeah,
I feel like you let him play these 3. Everything's good. Last game of the season, you sit him down. Trevor Siemian, it's your show.
Well,
Simeon's out for the year.
Oh.
So it would be Peterman. So I don't know if you really want that.
Mark Potash
It's
put
a
out
loss. It's a loss, so we're good, right?
The legend Mark Potash put out a funny tweet earlier this week, I think it was, where he said, yeah, he's a legend.
Did you call him Potash?
Potash?
I think it's Potash, but
Whatever, Hoge, Hoge, don't care.
No.
Don't disrespect that man. Disrespect. First of all, it's Potsy.
Potsy, whatever.
And I did learn something about Potsy. I didn't know Potsy's Jewish.
Yeah.
I mean, I got a Happy Hanukkah tweet to like all the Jews in media, and Potsy was in there. I'm like, I didn't have Potsy in there.
But
I'm not at all.
Potash?
No, Potash.
I don't know.
I felt like
Potash,
he trends Irish to me, but
Trends Irish.
But he said
deceiving, man.
he talked about the time the Bears beat the Packers and it changed their draft spot, and people were like, he said, it meant so much to the team to learn to win that game that they went on to have this terrible losing record over the next 5 seasons. And he quoted it was like 9-53 or something.
Well, his whole shtick on Twitter is amazing.
It's the best.
Few people do Twitter better than Potsy. I will say that. Hey,
and also may I add, the Eagles, once upon a time 2 years ago, tanked their final game of the season with Jalen Hurts, allowed the Giants to get into the playoffs, or the Commanders, I believe, to get into the playoffs over the Giants, so they could have the 5th pick instead of the 9th pick.
Yep.
Just saying. So if we want to mirror what the Eagles are doing, for all those that are against me and people that scream about the tanking, especially in that final game of the year, the Eagles did it. So
And
if you want to be like the Eagles, just saying.
We want to be like the Eagles.
and if I remember right, they traded back from that 5th pick.
Yes, and they've traded back the last 2 years.
And the other one was 10th. So that gets back to my original point, which was 2, 3, 4, 5. You can still trade back.
But
Not the
two
end of the
give.
world.
All right, whatever.
It's not
Go
the
ahead.
end of the world. All right, hey, Shady Rays never understood why sunglasses were so expensive, so they set out to change it. You don't have to break the bank for quality sunglasses this fall. Our friends at Shady Rays have you covered with premium polarized shades featuring world-class optical clarity, substantial durability, and styles catered to everyone and every lifestyle. Guys, I don't know if you noticed, but the sun's out today for like the first time in 2 weeks. Of course, it's cold as shit outside. That's always the trade-off here in Chicago in the winter. If the sun comes out, it means it's really cold. But, you know, I was driving down here, and I'm like, oh, man, I actually have to put my sunglasses on for the first time in a
Busted
while.
out the Shady
I
Ray.
had the Shady Rays right there. I got a pair in each car, which is nice, ready to go for me.
And if you sat on that car, that Shady Ray in your car, you would just get a new pair.
Right. If I don't know why I would sit on my Shady Rays, but if I did,
I would.
They have the lost and broken replacement that nobody can beat, because if you lose or break them, they will send you a brand new pair, no questions asked. And the other thing, the reason why I have two, one in each car, is because of this deal. Shady Rays is running their deepest deal of the season, and for CHGO listeners, you use code CHGO and you get 50% off 2 or more pairs at ShadyRays.com. Buy one, get one free. You can get 2 pairs for as low as $54. Redeem only at ShadyRays.com, where you can find all their newest and best shades.
Shady Rays. Love them. All right. I do.
I love it when you sing.
I love my Shady Rays. All right. ComEd, my people, the ComEd Energy Efficiency Program that Lawrence loves so much is committed to helping families and businesses and those hanging out in the communities we serve to make the most of your money and your energy. ComEd offers a free facility assessment. They're looking for energy-saving opportunities, lighting, HVAC systems, commercial kitchen equipment, industrial processes. ComEd is trying to save you money and make the world a better place at the same time. I love it. Don't wait. Get started saving money and energy today. Energy saving tips to schedule it. You can do your free facility assessment. How? ComEd.com/poweringbiz or call them 855-433-2700 or email businesshoge. We don't have Lawrence say businessee@comed.com. We can't hear Lawrence say it because there's 4 of us on set. So that's we apologize, but that was an outstanding fill in right there. ComEd, get it done. Save yourself some money. Make the world a better place.
All right. I want to give a quick shout out to the referee in this World Cup final. The guy's jacked out of his mind. He's hilarious. Do you see the GIF I tweeted out earlier for you?
No, I missed it.
Is he the Ed Hockley of football over there?
He kind of is. There's just a couple of college refs right now, too, that, like, they're so jacked. I don't even know how they reach their flag to throw
They
one.
flex a little bit. They're like this, holding on the play.
Holding.
That direction.
Ed Hockley back out there.
Yeah, looking like Brags out there, baby.
Shit,
How about bricks, baby?
Brick, baby. Get your brick juice on.
What is that stuff, though?
It's water and Mio flavoring.
Mio?
Lemon
That's
lime.
actually really good. I'm not going to lie. But,
Does the body good.
you know, I don't. This will shock you, but the players in this game were complaining. You've never watched a soccer game. That's literally all they do. And the referee just like kind of laughed at the player, and then all of a sudden went straight face.
Zip it. This is intense.
And I thought he might actually.
Oh no!
France penalty kick.
We're on. I guess we're now turning into a live World Cup final. Again,
The
your
whole
mic
world
doesn't
is
work.
watching, Adam.
The Bears game will come on. Fox tweeted already that, although we are getting closer to noon, if you are wondering about the Bears game, Fox did put out there that if the award ceremony goes past noon, that they'll switch to NFL, and you'll have to flip on FS1 to watch the end of the.
But what if this game isn't over by
I don't know,
noon?
but Mbappe has
Nope.
a PK right now to tie it at 3.
I mean, I feel like this is cash, right?
Nah, he blocks this. Watch this.
You're crazy.
Oh!
Is that his third goal of the
His
game?
third goal.
The golden boot.
The golden boot.
Golden boot.
I thought that goes. I
What
thought the golden
a
boot goes to whoever has the most.
What
goals.
a World Cup final. Wow.
I thought Messi did.
What is he, like 21?
Messi has
I
2
don't know, but he's good.
today. Oh, I thought.
What
he
an
had-
unbelievable final. This whole tournament has been great. World Cup coming to the United States next.
Is it?
Yeah. Not in Chicago.
L.A.?
Yeah, when you get Lori
No,
in, you might
Chicago
wanna-
was like, "No, we're good."
No, they didn't want to because I guess they wanted to know the financials. And
Probably security, too. It's a lot you got to deal with.
I read an article that said that they chose not to have it here because they weren't allowed to look into the financials behind it. So Kansas City is the closest city getting it from here. But it's going to span across the United States, Canada, and Mexico to start, and then whittle down to cities in America.
KC's a
and
great
we're
soccer
one
town.
city that's left out. I think that's a huge missed opportunity. You should bring the mayor on and voice my displeasure for it.
No. Don't.
No, because it was going to be a huge money loser. I think.
Don't.
No.
They were like, "Hey, here's all the things we need. We're not going to tell you how much it costs. Are you in?" And they were like,
Well, see,
No,
I
that's
live
not how
in
this
Northwest
works.
Indiana, so I don't care how much money you
"Okay, there it is. All right." At
It was
least-
the
at least
same
you
when,
admit it.
when Chicago put the
Yeah.
bid in for the Olympics. All those Chicagoans were like, "We don't want it." I was like, "Yes, we do. I want to work."
and listen to me. Do not be going at my mayor. She's coming out here, and I'm going to negotiate a deal with the Bears and the mayor and the city. And that's going to be my biggest contribution ever to this to this city, to this state. So don't
Arm
you
for president.
don't you dare go at my bestie, Mayor Lightfoot, who I
Yeah.
can't wait to have on this set. Mayor, I'm sending you this clip. I'm team rescue. I'm gonna get this done for everybody.
Oh boy.
Should we
Yeah.
talk about the Bears game? Or?
Sure, let's go.
Okay.
We'll always sort
Yeah, we were talking about too much football and not football.
Here's a list of the wide receivers that Justin Fields is going to throw to today.
my guys.
And if he doesn't throw a game-winning touchdown pass with these guys, he's not.
EQ back to WR1. Dante Pettis. I think Velus Jones is going to be in the mix today. Something to watch for.
Why not? I mean,
Yeah.
third round pick on him. Like, let him do some work out there.
Let me jump in for just a second here. As Byron Pringle and Simba Wester, we see it. Hoge got very involved with Flus on Friday about Velus. So you asked a couple of questions. Would you like to explain why you were so interested in Velus with the head coach?
Well, eventually it's a numbers game, and you're just like, well, wait a minute. If Darnell Mooney's not playing, Chase Claypool's not playing, if N'Keal Harry's not playing, who the hell's going to make plays? And I happened to notice walking to the locker room the other day, this happens almost every day. Justin Fields stays out, works with his wide receivers, pretty standard operation in the NFL. But Velus was one of those guys. And, they were working on legitimate routes, not the stuff we've seen, like a lot of like these end arounds and sort of gimmicky bubble screens, things like that. And it made me wonder, like, okay, you start looking at the depth chart this week. Someone's got to run these routes. Someone's got to, and I'm not saying he's going to do it and it's going to work, but which game was it where Velus Jones had that deep ball that he dropped?
The Giants game.
Right through his hands, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Definitely needs to work on his hands, but he has the speed. He's got burst. He's got acceleration. He's got quickness. He's got it all. But the catching, he maybe needs to get on the judgment.
Needs
But
more
my point is
opportunities,
that,
too.
that my point is that was in the playbook earlier this season.
Yeah.
And obviously he had to go back to work, and they did that in the kick return game. Remember, he was inactive, then he came back. They've had success with it, and I'm guessing these are all things they've been working on. We got to remember, like, you develop during the season, you get better during the season, and this is a rookie. So I think there's a big opportunity today for Velus with all the guys out. I'm not saying one way or another if he's going to take advantage of it, but I do think you're going to see at some point in this game a big play opportunity for him. Whether he seizes that opportunity or not, we'll talk about it on the post-game show, I guess.
I guess I've been a little confused. Like, I understand about taking him from the punt return after he had that fumble, but why is he not getting reps and Pettis is getting all these reps at wide receiver?
Right.
That's what I've been a little confused of. I understand because Velus Jones, they see him more as a kick returner right now because of his hands and punt return. But why is he not getting more reps? He's a third round pick in a season that's a rebuild, and you're trying to figure out what you got.
This is what Matt Eberflus said a few days ago in the presser. He said, in terms of Velus Jones against Philly, I think he's improving in terms of his alignment, assignment, getting the plays down, running the routes the correct way, the adjustments, knowing how to adjust the routes when needed, and he's improving. He's getting better. We can see him time on task has been really good for him. He's been really focused in on his job, and he's getting better. So we're excited about where he's going to go for the next 4 weeks. So,
yeah.
Critical of what he needed to do to get back to
What do you think he meant? Maybe you might be the most qualified to answer this one. What do you think he meant by time on task?
Oh, that's something he says all the time.
What does that mean?
It's just like
he's
coach
studying
speak.
more?
It's just coach speak for.
He's studying? Is that what it is?
No, it's just time on task. You're spending time on what you need to work on to get better.
Yeah, okay. The main thing, it just seems like a very generic coach response from what Braggs was reading. Because my thing is like this: as a wide receiver, come on, you know exactly what your alignment is. The assignments from the playbook from preseason. Right?
Yeah,
so you should have been knowing all this.
The biggest thing that stood out was running the routes the correct way.
Yeah.
That was the most critical.
And I think adjustments
statement.
to routes.
Yep, knowing how to adjust the routes when needed.
I got to tell you, I don't want to be over the top on Velus, but I do feel like these last 4 games, his NFL career might very well be on the line for him. He's never going to have an opportunity like this right now where you've got, banged up receiver after banged up receiver and a quarterback who he lockers next to, who likes him and who's working with him after practice. Yeah. I know that he's a rookie, but I
think he's always going to have a place in this league because of the burst. Why? Because I don't
know, man. He's not. He's not.
He really hasn't got an opportunity. Like you have one drop in that situation as a receiver, and then they're kind of just done.
Yeah, but this when it comes quick. Like this is your opportunity.
It does, but in this situation, right, with the season not really being at stake for making the playoffs and all this, it's all about development, right?
Yeah.
You had a 3rd round pick and a guy that was basically an unproven receiver, right? Older guy, he's 25.
Yep.
Flashed a lot of potential, but this was kind of like an experimental pick. So my thing is like, why are you not experimenting with them during the way the season is?
I agree. They should experiment the living hell out of it.
That's why I think these last 4 games you put Velus Jones.
But this should have been way earlier.
Yeah, sure. I think they tried, and he was just failing so much. They had to go back to the drawing board with him. That's all. And I'm not saying that's right or wrong. I just think that's how they chose to deal with it because they were like, all right, we gotta, let's take playing off the table for a few weeks. Let's go back to training camp mid-season.
So you think his routes were just that terrible?
Yeah, he says it there, and at one point when he was put on the practice squad, I don't have the exact quote in front of me, but it was basically the same thing. He needed to learn his position better, and so I think Matt Eberflus has done a good job of holding these guys accountable in that way, and now he has his opportunity, and you know how it is when you're in the big leagues. You have your opportunity, you got to take it.
Don't you think it comes down to coaching too? Especially a guy that you deemed a project, right?
Yep.
Velus Jones is a project. So why not work with him? That's on the coaches. You got to get the best out of
that's what I've been saying about Chase Claypool, right? Everybody's putting it on Chase Claypool that he doesn't know where he's supposed to be lining up in the offense. He's still learning. It's like this guy's a veteran, been in the league 3 years, and that just speaks more to it. And I've always said, hey, Getsy holds accountability to Chase Claypool not getting going yet. So, to your point, it's the same thing when it comes to a guy like Velus Jones.
Yeah, they got to do a better job.
Hey, real quick, on an interesting, sort of unfortunate note that does not have to do with this game, but the Falcons-Saints game. This came out from the Falcons moments ago. In case you're, might affect fantasy or things like that. I don't know. But Atlanta Falcons defense coordinator Dean Pease was involved in an on-field pregame collision. He was stable, alert, responsive, transported to the University Medical Center, New Orleans for medical testing. Frank Bush will serve as interim defensive play caller for today's game. So the Falcons are without their defensive coordinator in that game because of an on-field pregame collision.
Collision?
You ever crack into a coach?
No, never. I mean, usually the coaches are out of the way. I don't know.
I'll never forget when Jonathan Casillas took out Joe Paterno's legs in a collision on the sideline at Camp Randall Stadium, and Paterno broke his leg. It was like a big deal.
Like a couple coaches.
Because he was like in his 80s then, I think.
Yeah.
Or
Charlie Weiss, the same thing happened to him on the sideline. Sean Payton happened to him. Coaches you got to watch out.
You got to be careful on those sidelines.
Yeah, you got to be ready.
Head on a swivel.
Yeah.
Well, who I'm trying to think. Is it who's got like a personal assistant that gets him out of the way? Isn't Sean McVay have a coach that literally just gets him out of the way?
Back
it's a strength coach.
Yeah, you're thinking about get back coaches.
Yeah.
That's different. That's for like yelling at refs.
Well, maybe we go
Get back.
Maybe we get upper level guy who just follows you around and just always keeps you out of danger.
You're not supposed to be on the white.
Bodyguard.
And if you make collision with the referee, the side judge on the linesman in the white, then it's a penalty. So that's why they have get back coaches to keep you behind the white.
I think I could do that gig.
You could do that gig.
Hey, coaches got to learn. It's just like when you're around a pile in football. You don't stand up straight legged. You get low, get your hands ready. Yeah, my dogs have taken me out a couple times.
Hey, with all these, I don't know if you noticed, all these local blackouts, have you ever struggled to watch the Bears?
I have.
Here at home, live in Indiana, stuck in the Colts market, maybe?
Yep.
I'm not in the Colts market. Thank you very much. I live in the Chicagoland metropolitan area.
Well, it could be worse. You could be in Wisconsin like I was in college and in the Packers market.
Oof.
Yeah. No one deserves that, especially this year. And an incredible virtual private network, VPN, like private internet access, can fix that for you. Private internet access helps you change your IP address's location to provide an extra layer of security when finding your favorite content. Would you ever just hand your phone or laptop off to just anyone and let them go through your search history? No. It might make you rethink some habits. Stop internet service providers from invading your privacy and profiting off your data. Private internet access is the world's most transparent VPN with over 30 million downloads. You know you'll be able to trust them to keep your online life private. Single subscription allows you to protect up to 10 devices at once. And I know a ton of our fans at home and abroad have been looking for an assist like this to watch Chicago sports for a while. And now we have private internet access. So if you want to enjoy all the benefits of private internet access, now's the time to subscribe. Head to www.piavpn.com/bears and get an 83% discount. Seriously, 83%. That's just $2.03 a month. You also get 4 extra months completely free, but you must go to www.piavpn.com/bears for a truly private digital life. One last time, piavpn.com/bears.
So anybody thinking about going last minute Soldier Field right now? Just because you're completely crazy?
I think about it every day.
I'll be here. Thank you.
Okay, Game Time tickets. So if you were going right now and buying tickets at Game Time on Game Time and downloading the app that 15 million people have downloaded, you see it right there. Lawrence is clicking it on. That's right. $20 to get in on that Skydeck seat. $21 for upper level. And if you put in all the fees and whatnot, 2 tickets, $68. So $34 a ticket at Game Time for a seat that once cost $100 and some odd dollars per seat. So that is why.
Can you get into the World Cup at the last second here?
Another penalty, or are we just in the shootout?
They're in the shootout.
This should not end. Yeah,
I'm sorry.
I don't think it should. Game Time Tickets is upset that it's ending on the shootout.
Calm. It's like
squirrel. Shows. I'm sorry. This is the biggest sporting event in the history of the world right now that I just got distracted by. Shows.
Get out of here with that. The Bears play the Eagles in 10 minutes.
Shows, concerts, plays, whatever you need. Game Time's got you covered. I'm focused. You're not focused. I'm finishing up this set. Last row, front row, courtside, behind home plate. Whatever you need, Game Time's got you covered. And again, $68 for 2 tickets right now. just don't buy your tickets in advance. Wait. It's always the play to move, and just do it on the Game Time ticket app. And if you really want to help us, go to the link in the description here and buy them there, like Hoge did for Friday night when he went and saw the Bulls game.
We're gonna have to wait till post game to talk more about that, but because we're on a time constraint now. But Game Time came up clutch Friday because I'm a procrastinator and I didn't commit to the Bulls takeover until basically noon Friday, and we were all sold out. So I went on Game Time. I got my tickets for James and I they were in the same exact section, just three rows away from where our crew was. It was a great time. We'll talk more about it later.
Yeah, you were on the aisle.
Yeah, we had a good spot. Also, and we're going to get on to our prop bets here because DraftKings Sportsbook is the official sports betting partner of the NFL. It is our go-to when betting on the NFL this holiday season. You can download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use code CHGO. You place a $5 bet on any NFL team to win their game. You'll get $150 in free bets if they do, only at DraftKings Sportsbook with code CHGO. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details. They have this thing called stepped up same game parlays. The more legs you put in the parlay, the more your boost. So let's get to our prop bets here, and maybe you can do a same game parlay with the prop bets. If our producer stops watching the World Cup and
might hear him in the background.
Yes. Here we go. I'm not gonna lie. I was gonna go with Velus Jones anytime touchdown, and Bragg stole it from me. So I'm just gonna go easier with Justin Fields anytime touchdown. But I like your play, Braggs.
Yeah, it was plus 800 in my book, but my app is for Northwest Indiana, not Illinois. So it may be different in Illinois. We got it at plus.
Yeah,
I checked plus 1,000.
I checked DraftKings right before we came on. It was plus 1,000.
Yes,
so
sir.
Better odds.
Plus
for you. Again, another reason why you go with DraftKings.
Right.
CHGO.
I mean, they have no choice, right? Velus Jones is one of their only options. And even if he drops the 50-yard touchdown dime ball from Justin Fields, he still is a candidate in the red zone to get an end around.
I think if he scores, it'll be kick return. That's how I see it.
Okay.
Kick return touchdown if he scores. I just don't know if they're going to use him.
Well, that'd be a nice.
And may I also add that Kari Blasingame is plus 2,200 to score a touchdown.
It's just enough with the Blasingame.
he ain't getting the ball, I'll tell you that.
He got a touchdown in the preseason. Jeez.
They'll give a defensive tackle.
Maybe it was the other fullback. Regardless, give the fullback the
Carm's
ball.
going full sand god today.
I'm in on the sand god. Somebody's got to make a tackle today, and the Argentina just won the World Cup. I'm going with the sand god. 9.5 seems it's a little tall, but when you're the sand god, that's nothing. I feel like a nice 14 tackle day for Jack Sanborn is coming. Jalen Hurts is going to learn the name Sand God today. Let's go.
I like it. So, I got David Montgomery over 59.5.
I like it.
Right? That's for minus 115. I like that. David Montgomery's looking to get those carries this week, right? He's trying to prove his worth. He's trying to get paid this offseason.
By the way, Justin Fields 69.5 on the rushing yards, so 10 more than Montgomery. I kind of like it, but I'm still a little.
I like it for the scramble.
Yeah, I still think he's going to break loose, and the Eagles are very susceptible to giving up quarterback runs, but I do think they'll be measured in the amount of times they do that. So I'm not all the way in. It would not surprise me though if we get back to where we were a few weeks ago, where Justin Fields hits the over on rushing yards by the second quarter. So something to keep in mind. All right, our predictions, and then we have a few super chats we got to get to before kickoff here. But we're all going Eagles across the board. I believe I'm the only one that has the Bears covering though. The +9.
You're the only one that's got a one-score game.
Yeah. The Eagles are 2-4 against the spread on the road. They've had some games like against the Eagles where they only won by 1 a few weeks ago. They're not always perfect on the road.
Colts game, they barely won.
The Bears kind of have a knack for keeping games close.
Look what they did to the Giants.
They lost the road. They've won the last 2 games by 8,000 points, but they lost to the Commanders about 5 weeks ago. Damn it.
Look.
You're fine.
Woot's 45 for the Eagles, totally in play. I'm not going to lie.
The way this pass rush is set
I'm also I'm thinking about this more sort of in like probably how Vegas would look at trends a little bit more. So one, you have the Eagles against the spread, 2-4 on the road this year. The Bears coming off the bye. They were good. They were good off the mini bye. They are getting what?
Bears are, I'm just putting the Bears haven't won off a bye week in 8 years, just for the record. I know it's a different coaching staff.
This is a totally different coaching staff, and they had a mini bye earlier this year, and they beat the shit out of the Patriots.
It's a fair take.
Don't you think that there's going to be some adjustments made? Some wrinkles up the sleeve?
Hey.
The thing today, I think
Huge wrinkles are coming out today.
I didn't say the Bears are winning. I just have them covering +9.
I'm going to tell you, I'm more worried about the running game for the Eagles.
Yeah.
I think Miles Sanders might put up 200 on the Bears.
Well, that's totally.
I'm telling you, this defensive line, we don't penetrate. We're not getting off blocks. We can't pass rush. Jalen Hurts is going to be back there
Sanborn will
all
not
day.
allow it.
MVP. Going to be talking to himself.
They do get Brisker back. They do get Gordon back.
Over under.
Brisker off the edge. That's all I'm saying.
That's
leading sacker,
brisk,
baby.
We got to keep going. We got to let's go.
Yeah. All right. Let's sneak these super chats in real quick. Then it's kickoff time.
We love you, Super Chat, Aaron.
Which one are we going with first? We'll start with John Davis, $5.
What's up, John?
Prayers up to Justin Fields today. Equanimous St. Brown is his wide receiver 1. Maybe Velus will do something today. Maybe. Yeah.
We could see Velus Jones, right? 3rd round pick. We got to see
something.
from production. Next 4 weeks, it's his show.
Do something.
See what he can do.
John, I concur.
All right. Andrew, $5. Need help, fellas. Play Fields with no help in fantasy playoffs or play golf. Oh, man. I would go Fields.
Really?
Yeah. Well, how many points did you have the Bears scoring?
Jared Goff's playing good
28.
football, man.
28.
Who the hell's scoring those points?
Sanborn.
Someone's got to score the points.
No,
Sanborn.
It's going to be Blasingame.
Blasingame, 1 touchdown,
you're
3
right.
pick sixes.
I will say, Andrew, I am playing Trevor Lawrence over Fields today. But in your situation with Goff going against the Jets,
cold.
I think I'd play Fields.
But the way they've been playing, though,
Yeah.
Jets have a pretty good defense.
Detroit is arguably playing the best football in the NFL right now.
They've had a lot of
As a
home
team.
games, though. This is going to be a big test for them on the road in a game that is a trap game for them. Like, they should win it, should being the operative term. Are the Lions no longer the Lions? And we'll find out. But the Jets are no pushover, and it's in New York, so they're outdoors.
We'll see. All right. Last one. $4.99 from Aaron Carm. Who wins in a fight, Sanborn or a Hurricane?
I mean, why even spend $4.99 on that as much as we appreciate it? We know, Aaron, that Sanborn takes down all Hurricanes.
But what if the Hurricane's name
like
is
Chuck Norris,
Sanborn?
right?
Trick question. The Hurricane's name is Sanborn.
Then Tornado Sanborn would take down Hurricane Sanborn because tornadoes are
Right.
greater than hurricanes.
If Hurricane Sanborn and Sanborn collide, it creates a tsunami. A Sanborn tsunami. A Sandlocker tsunami. Somebody cut me off, so I'll stop saying
We'll
stupid
see after
things.
the game today on our post
A
game
wall
show.
of bricks or Sanborn? Sanborn runs right
Get
through
your
it.
brick
my
juice.
God.
Especially by his brick land.
Hey, congrats to Argentina for winning the World Cup. We'll be back post game. Bears. Right when the game's over, be here. Make sure you are subscribed to our YouTube channel. Hit that notification button. That way you'll know when we go live right after the game.
6 minutes after the game.
Let's go, Justin Fields.
and,
It's Justin Fields show, baby.
Real football time. America!